Life Healthcare has 63 acute care facilities across South Africa and now has an investment in an Indian hospital group. Previously known as Afrox Health, it relisted on the JSE in 2010. It has a market cap of 36.7 billion rand, a price to earnings ratio of 25 and a dividend yield of 2.6%. Life Healthcare, now this one has done very well since its listing, which was an enormous listing for the JSE not so long ago.
June 2010 and listed at 13.5, and look at that, it's
Wow,
absolutely
you've done well.
heroic. Yeah, I think for a while it captured the market's attention because it didn't have those crushing debt issues that the other two, and it was more South African focused, and at that time people were worried about European exposure and UK exposure, so that's why it attracted a lot of attention, and for a while I think had a larger market capitalization than their peer group, even with a smaller presence. It's about the same age as Mediclinic, so they went away, they got delisted, and then they came back. It's a very well run franchise. My daughter fell and cut her head during the December holidays. We had to rush off to the one in Mthatha. Brilliant, you know, I tell you, they'd rolled up the pavements in Mthatha, but the Life Healthcare was still open.
So let's go back to that story. It delisted. You said it's about as old as Mediclinic. Then it relisted. So there's a whole reinvention that took place here, and obviously a very well thought out process.
Yeah, certainly, and I think they just listed at the right time as well. They've increased, I think, from 2010 to 2012, their beds by about 42%. So that
phenomenal growth.
That huge growth you probably saw in the share price, but of course it had a huge run.
So where to from here? I can see you're holding your breath on this one.
Yeah, I just think at 25p it's probably had its run. And I think you probably get some better opportunities in the sector elsewhere at the moment.
Rotate.
Yeah, and I think some people did as well. You saw over the last 6 or 7 months, this thing has been trading sideways, up and down. So probably a few players taking some money off the table. We know Brimstone took some of the money off the table as well, one of their partners, long time, and BE partners. But yeah, I think probably can get a better value elsewhere at the moment in the sector.
In terms of Life Healthcare, could there be any mistakes at this stage, considering its fantastic rally to these levels?
You see, I think the spanner in the works here is probably the National Health Insurance Plan and the fact that they only have a South African business. So what is that going to mean? Although I think in South African government circles, probably our most sensible minister is Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi. So I think on that score, probably find that private healthcare in South Africa will probably have more members who are able to join. So if you're holders and you've held them since their listing, I'd continue to hold, because you might go through a patch of, you know, nowhere for 12 or 18 months whilst the earnings catch up, but you wouldn't want to be selling and, you know, locking in some capital gains in a really short time. Just carry on holding.
Gerbrand, hot or not on Life Healthcare?
I'm going to go for not hot. I just think the price is too expensive at the moment.
Hot or not, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to go for not, just on the basis that we're doing these things on very short term.